Hey everyone, so this episode here we have a couple of Konami games. First up is Contra. Now, in the first episode of the series I said that my NES did not come with a packing game. Well, just because my NES did not come with a packing game did not mean that we didn't have any NES games to play when we got our NES system. Because my NES did not come with a packing game, my parents were kind enough to buy me this game right here, Contra, and they bought this game at the same store and at the same time that they bought my NES system. So this game right here, this actual cart right here, this is the first ever NES game that I ever owned. Now, prior to owning my own copy of this game, I did play and beat this game already. It was like a couple weeks before. One of my friends was having a little party, and he invited a couple of kids. My brother and I both went, and we played Nintendo games over there. One of the games we played was Contra. Contra is a two-player game, so me and this other kid, we used the infamous Konami code to get the 30 men, and we played from the beginning all the way to the end, and ended up beating the game. So yeah, despite already beating this game prior to owning my own copy of this game, this was like the perfect first NES game for me to get, because it was two players. You can play two players at the same time, so my brother and I, we could play at the same time. Whereas if I would have gotten like a single player game, then my brother and I would have to take turns playing, and inevitably one of us would complain to our mom and dad, saying, you know, the other one is hogging the Nintendo, because you know how brothers are. But with this game, we could play together at the same time. Now, obviously, I did get some time to play this on my own, and I was able to get good enough at this game that I was able to beat this game on my own, playing single player, without using the Konami code and without using any continues. One thing that I did not do is I don't think I ever beat this game without dying once. I mean, it's possible that I did, but I don't remember doing that. And if I did do it, I would like to think that I would remember that I did it. So now I'm going to talk about the two Castlevania games that I have, Castlevania 1 and 2. I never owned a copy of Castlevania 3, but I did borrow it from a friend. I did terrible in that game. I didn't even come close to beating that game. But I'm actually going to talk about Castlevania 2 before talking about Castlevania 1. Now, some of you have already seen this, but I do have a sealed copy of Castlevania 2. Maybe one day I'll do a video on how I ended up getting this sealed copy of Castlevania 2. I do have a pretty strange history with Castlevania 2. So anyway, as a kid, I did have a copy of this game that I played, and now combat-wise, it's pretty easy, but it took me a long time before I beat this game, like over a year, and it's because I was stuck at this one part. You needed to get to this mansion that was underwater, and for the longest time I couldn't figure out how to get to that mansion that was underwater. And it didn't help that some of the NPC characters just gave completely wrong advice. So just like Zelda 2, what ended up happening is I would restart this game from the beginning multiple times, play up to the part where I couldn't figure out what to do, then quit this game and play other NES games. But I finally found out how to get to that mansion by I actually stumbled across a Nintendo guidebook. Yeah, I guess as a kid I seemed to have quite a bit of luck stumbling across Nintendo guidebooks that helped me figure out what to do in my Nintendo games. But I stumbled across that Nintendo guidebook, and it showed me that I needed to use one of the crystals to kneel down for a couple seconds, and then I would gain entrance to that mansion. So I did that, and I ended up eventually beating this game. And yeah, I was quite surprised that Dracula was very easy to beat. But yeah, so where did I happen to stumble across that Nintendo guidebook? Well, out of all the places that you could find a Nintendo guidebook, I found that Nintendo guidebook at my local library. Yeah, my local library. I mean, who would have thought? Castlevania. Now, in the first episode of the series, I kind of hinted at the fact that I have not beaten every game in my NES collection. And Castlevania 1, this game right here, is one of the games that I have not beaten. But oh, I got so close to beating this game. Now, I do think that Castlevania is a hard game. It's got some annoying enemies like those flying Medusa heads, and usually when I play this game, I do terrible. But one afternoon as a kid, I was playing this game, and it was like I was on fire. I was just kicking butt, and I made it all the way to the last boss, Dracula. And try as I might, I just couldn't beat him. I just couldn't beat Dracula. I just couldn't beat him. And so eventually, my parents, my mom and dad, they started yelling at me to get off the Nintendo because I was playing for a while. And, you know, I really wanted to spend some more time trying to beat Dracula, but I had to get off the Nintendo. And I don't think Castlevania has a password function. So when I turned off the power to my Nintendo, the next time I played this game, I would have to start all over at the beginning. And man, I never, as a kid, I never made it back to Dracula. I mean, it was draining enough to make it to him the first time. But you know what? I have set as one of my video game goals to accomplish before I die, to accomplish in my lifetime, that I've set that I will beat Castlevania before I die. That is one of my goals. So yeah, one day, Dracula, one day, you are so going down. Alright, we've reached the end of this episode. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.